Okay, we are going to start with the rotary mechanical fuel injection pump. This is considered a low pressure pump. Rotary mechanical fuel injection pump. You remember that's the input of the fuel, enter over there, and those are the outputs. The outputs per each cylinder. This is the handle for the RPMs. This is the ball for idle. This is the ball for idle. The head of that ball is a drill head. You can pass the safety wire. You remember in our class of introduction to marine engineering, I explained the procedure to install the safety wire. Okay, that ball is for idle, and you have the other one for wide open throttle. Okay, you can administrate both of them, idle and wide open throttle, with those balls. And this is the handle for the RPMs. With this ball, you calibrate the output pressure of the fuel injection pump. Never cut this safety wire. Never touch this ball, because you can produce catastrophic consequence. My friends, never touch that ball, especially if the engine is running, because you can destroy your hands. It's dangerous. Okay, never touch that ball. That ball is moved for the people on the machine shop. When you send the fuel injection pump to the laboratory to be calibrated, each 1,000 hours, around each 1,000 hours, you need to calibrate the fuel injection pump and the fuel injectors depending on the manufacturer specification. Exactly, this is the pump. Remember, this is the mini block, and this is the governor. The mini block and the governor. Okay, the mini block internally have the camshaft, and those small cylinders or plungers, those small cylinders, and this is the output with high pressure per each injector. This is a mini engine. This small camshaft is a replica of the big one. Exactly like this. This small camshaft. This is the small camshaft of the fuel injection pump, and this is the big camshaft of the block of the engine. Both of them have the same configuration according with the angle of the lobes. This is the situation. This is a top view. This is a top view that I prepared of the inline mechanical fuel injection pump. All right. This is the feeding for intake, and internally in the small mini block, you have this cavity for intake manifold, for supply manifold, and the fuel enter in the plunger, in each plunger, in the small hole of each plunger. In the other side, the plunger have another hole that return fuel and return into the fuel tank. All right, this is the top view. This is the input over there. The manifold is over there, and in front here is the return. Those are the plungers, all the cylinders. I'm going to remove one. Perfect. All right, one hole in front of the input. Perfect, in front of the input, and other hole in front of the return. Perfect, in front of the return, and the return goes into the return of the tank. This is the input. Okay, look internally what happened. I have a plunger that is going up and down. This is a small piston plunger, and you have one hole here for intake of fuel and other one in the back to return. But additionally, the plunger have two functions. One function is the vertical movement up and down to compress the fuel, but the plunger also rotate a little. Depending of the rotation, the RPMs increase or decrease. This is possible because internally all the plungers can rotate at the same time with a special rail. The rail is connected with the governor, and the governor accelerate or decelerate depending of the load. Depending of the load on the engine and depend of external conditions, the governor accelerate, and all the plungers move like this at the same time, or like this, or like this, or like this. Exactly. This is the plunger. The plunger have two movements, up and down, and rotational. It's some degrees. It's like a 6 degrees or 7 degrees, the rotation. It's a little. This is the groove. The groove normally is in front of this hole. The plunger have one groove in front and other one in the back to return the fuel. One in front and other one in the back. Right now I am going to show to you. Alright, correct. The piston move up and down and other one in the back. I have another plunger, a big one of a big fuel injection pump. In this one we are going to check easily where the fuel enter for input and in the back return. Okay, this is a big plunger. The plunger is basically one liner, the external cylinder, and one piston or plunger. Alright? Okay. This is the liner and this is the plunger. And one hole here for input of fuel and other hole in the back, 180 degrees in the back for return. Look at the groove. Ah, nice. It's like this. It's like this picture. This is the hole. This is the hole. And this is the groove on the plunger. With a big, it's like a big triangle. With a big area in the base of the triangle and a short area on top of the triangle. You have one groove in front of the plunger for input of fuel, and in the back 180 degrees in the back, other exactly the same for return, other triangle for return. And you have in the cylinder, in the sleeve of the plunger, you have one hole for input. This is the input. This is the housing of the fuel injection pump. That's the feeding for input. The fuel enter over there. This is the housing. You remember that cavity on the housing, and this is the hole on the body of the plunger. And here is the plunger with the one triangle to receive the fuel and other triangle to return. Exactly, and this is the return. Okay. Look, and the capsules move like this. More and less, more and less. You like it? It's not complicated, no? Okay, right now we are going to check what happened on top of the plunger where the valves are located. Because what happened when the plunger compressed the fuel? It's supposed that you have a check valve over there that allows that the fuel goes with high pressure into the injector. Yes, on top of the plunger you have a body of valves. Depending of the fuel injection pump, there are bodies of valves with a regular check valves with a spring and ball, and there are other ones with a stainless steel element with flaps, like in the air condition system, the compressor of the air condition system. Pretty similar. Alright, we are going to check what happened. Plunger, body of valves, mechanical low pressure pump. Okay, this is low pressure. Alright, we are going to disassemble on top of the plunger, and we are going to check how is the valve. This valve in particular is for both directions, input and output. Okay, my friends, the governor internally have a mechanism. It's a simple mechanism, but that mechanism is lubricated with engine oil. My friends, in the mini block, everything is lubricated with fuel. Remember that the diesel have a lubricity abilities. Diesel is oil, right? The mini block is lubricated for the diesel, and the governor is lubricated with engine oil, motor oil. The oil used on the main engine enter here, and return in the bottom of the governor into the oil pan. Okay, this is very, very important. Oil enter here and oil return. Now we are going to disassemble. We are going to disassemble the housing of the governor.